In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming back at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I'm pleased to be joined by Purdue head coach Matt Painter. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Let's get right into it. You know, everybody's talking about last season. What was your approach from taking the experiences of last season, bringing it to this season?
Well, I thought, obviously to start the season, we were undefeated again, non-conference. We weren't ranked to start the season, and I knew we had a good team. Obviously, I knew Zach was going to have a huge year just from, how practices were going. But we had some young guys, and, there's a little bit of uncertainty when you have guys that haven't played yet that you're going to rely heavy on. But I thought, our freshmen, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman-Wren, I thought those guys really gave us a punch. Had a lot of returners coming back. And so, we were ended up being number one in the country for 7 weeks and winning our league by 3 games and winning the tournament. Obviously, we had a very tough loss in the NCAA tournament, and hopefully that can be the silver lining for this year and the motivation to, to push through and hopefully get to a Final Four and win a national championship. I know that's kind of tall order, but I really like our pieces. I like what we've added, and we learned a lot from it. We learned a lot just from the preparation in the league and how good the coaches and the players in the Big Ten are, just get you prepared. And we had a good overseas trip, and we're really looking forward to the game starting.
You mentioned Zach a little bit. He got some great experience with Team Canada. Have you seen him bring any of that experience to what you guys are doing this season?
It's really hard. Obviously, he didn't play a ton for them. I think just the experience and the preparation of being around, pros and, just learning how to go about your business. Zach is pretty locked in. So, he's a guy that has a routine to what he does in terms of his individual preparation, either before or after practice. And, he's fun to have around. It makes it hard for us to scheme against him in practice, too. And so I understand what opponents go through, and I ref a lot, so he gets mad at me, but it's part of it. Sometimes you get a good whistle and sometimes you don't. And but no, Zach's just continued to get better, to improve, and he's just continued to work and be a good leader for us.
Coach, you guys weren't as aggressive as some teams in the transfer portal, but you brought a very veteran guy in from SIU, Lance Jones. Right. What does he bring?
Just toughness, ability to defend. Can make an open shot, can play both guard spots at the 1 and the 2. So, it was really ideal for us. He's serious about basketball, did a great job with him down at SIU. Obviously, he was on the all defensive team and, an all conference performer. And, but the ability to kind of coexist with what we have is very important. Braden Smith's going to play a lot, obviously. And to be able to coexist with him, to be able to, defend different people is really going to help us. But, just a good guy, hardworking guy, fun to be around also. And, it's really fit in well with our team.
You've got 2 forwards in Ethan Morton and Mason Gillis that can do a lot of different things. Will they try to add something to their game this season?
I think more than anything is just kind of be better at what they do.
Okay.
I think the thing for us that really is frustrating is, when we did have some struggles, like we were getting what we wanted to offensively. We were having too many turnovers, but we were getting what we wanted. And so, getting everybody in that mode of simply just being excited about getting open shots and knocking them down. I know that seems pretty elementary, but like Mason's a really good perimeter shooter, can really knock down shots. But it's being able to coexist and play alongside, a really good point guard and Braden Smith, obviously the National Player of the Year, and Zach Edey, and then fill in. And both of those guys do a great job of competing, doing a lot of little things for us, sacrificing for our program, and just playing really, really important roles.
You've also got some bookend forwards in Caleb First and Trey Kaufman-Wren who blend nicely around Zach Edey. What can we expect to see from those two this season?
Yeah, well, Trey's played last year. We played him exclusively at the 5, a little bit at the 4. We're going to play him more at the 4 too, and blend those guys, which is tough, right? Because Zach's going to eat 30 of those minutes. So you got 50 minutes between 3 people, and they're all 3 really good players. But we just felt at the end of the year we had such a good offense, but yet we can't score 60 points in the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years. One was in the Sweet 16, one was in the first round last year. And it's like, Trey Kaufman-Wren's a guy that can really, really score. So we feel like we got to utilize, even though we had a really good offense, we got to utilize all of our weapons. And so we're going to try to put him in there and, play through him a little bit. And I think that's really going to help us. Caleb's really, just grown each year. He became a really good defender last year for us. He's got great athleticism. He's got a great motor, getting him on the glass, getting him running, knocking down shots. So it's pretty satisfying as a coach when you got all those guys on your front line and you got a lot of different ways you can play.
Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer got great opportunities as freshmen last year, and they really stepped up and did better than a lot of us thought they would. Do you expect a jump from these guys, that normal jump when guys get a lot of time as freshmen into their expectations for their sophomore season?
Yeah, great point. Yeah, you see that jump probably bigger than most jumps in terms of improvement, just because guys have, gotten some things figured out. They're not constantly thinking about what they should do instead of knowing what they should do and just going out there and playing. The season can't get as long as it gets when you're a freshman. And I think everybody's looking at those days when they're a freshman like, whoa, then if you're lucky enough to make the NBA, then you realize how lucky, how fortunate you had it in college, because that season's really long. But no, I think both those guys will have great years for us. Just a little bit more consistent, a little bit more understanding of what they need to do, especially on the defensive end.
I got a chance to see you guys. I think it was a couple months back. You were doing some sort of get together. You guys got up and down a little bit. Miles Colvin looked impressive from a physical standpoint. What does he have to do to get on the court consistently for you this season?
Yeah, just understanding what we're doing. He's got some real physical gifts. He can really shoot the basketball. He's very athletic. Gives us what we need. Now, this time right here is really important for him, of just kind of piecing some things together and knowing what's going on both ends. While we play Arkansas in our exhibition, and then we have a scrimmage versus Grace, or an exhibition game, against Grace. So being able to get him in these games and kind of getting a feel, because Arkansas is going to be real. Obviously, like, they're very, very talented, but this isn't the close scrimmage. Like, this is the one where the fans can come, and so it's going to be a road game, a real road game. I heard it's going to be a sellout, so excited about it. But that's going to be, that can be mind-boggling for someone who's 18 years old in their first game. And so, but it's better to get games like that, under your belt and that experience before you really have to go and play a true road game that counts.
Coach, I've heard some good things coming out of West Lafayette about Camden Hyde and Brandon Waddell. Can you share with our viewers what they bring to your program?
Yeah, well, both of them got good length. Both of them athletic, can shoot the basketball. Brian Waddell tore his ACL, MCL, PCL 2 years ago. So last year, getting back, we played him some non-conference, and it just wasn't there. So he's healthy now. So I think that's really going to make for a lot of depth there for us, just because we haven't really sorted it out yet where we are there on the wing. With Miles and with Brian and then with Cam. But Cam has a lot of athleticism, can shoot the basketball, redshirted last year. So, we're looking forward to it. Once again, it's kind of like that wing area is very similar to our front line. We haven't talked about Will Berg yet, 7'2", was injured last year, redshirted last year, but has really made some strides here. He's up against it a little bit just because of Zach and the minutes that he'll get, and then the loaded, front court that we have. So it's hard, but, it's a coach's dream also, to be able to have all these guys and have all this competition. If a guy gets sick or foul trouble or is struggling, you can move to that next guy and feel really good about it.
And lastly, Coach, you guys have a tough non-con, and it seems like you have that every season. You've got a veteran ball club. When you put together these non-conference slates, are you looking for specific opponents to mimic what you'll see coming in the season? How does that work?
Well, that's what we do with the exhibition with Arkansas. We want to get somebody who's really talented, really athletic, different than what we see in the Big Ten.
Mhm.
From a standpoint of style, they really just keep coming at you, driving the basketball, and so we really try to do that. We've played Providence a couple times. We played Huggy at West Virginia 4 times. So just getting that different style, so it can prepare us for teams in non-conference and conference play and NCAA tournament. But no, we just, we did the Toronto deal for Zach, playing Alabama and Toronto.
Yeah.
Obviously, we try to play in Indianapolis where we're playing Arizona. We're playing Xavier at home against, in the Dave Gavitt games. And then obviously the Maui tournament, that's just absolutely loaded. So, we want to prepare ourselves and get ourselves in position and not take anything for granted, because the teams that have beat us in the NCAA tournament aren't the teams I just mentioned. We've been undefeated last 2 years, non-conference, the only team in America that's been able to do that. So we are playing, some pretty heavy, competition, but it's also, I thought like probably one of the best teams we played all last year was Hofstra at our place. They were good. Speedy Claxton's a hell of a coach. And I thought they were one of the best teams we played all year. And so you want to play different levels of teams. You want to play different kinds of teams to get you prepared. And I think that's done that for us in the past, even though we've had some struggles here the last couple of years with kind of that low to mid-major team, quicker, smaller guards. But defensively, we got those teams in the 50s. Like, we're holding them to the 50s if we don't have to foul at the end. We got to be able to score the basketball, and that hasn't been a problem for us throughout the year, but it's been a problem for us in the tournament. And we just got to keep building that confidence and feel good about ourselves and go out there and compete.
Coach, is there anything that I didn't touch on that you want our viewers to know?
Not really. Just excited for the season. When you look, you work so hard to get in these positions like we were last year. That's why it was so tough for us. But we're very fortunate that we're right back into a position. But now we got to earn it again, right? You just don't start the season in the NCAA tournament. Like, you got to earn your place in that thing, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
That's head coach Matt Painter from Purdue. That'll do it for this edition of Bardo's Breakdown. That's why you got to check back in to see more interviews like this. Until next time, holla, y'all. Hey, Matt, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, man.
Hey, I'll
no problem.
see you over there. I'll see you over there soon.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Take care. Have a good day.
All right, you too.